remember, all of what's about to happen right now here in the country, it all comes down to the last message that Trump had for the world. He was using the language of semaphore, and the language of semaphore is the language of flags. The first language or the first message he sent to the world, we're here to take back what was taken from us, stolen from us. And that was with the blue dress, the Tiffany blue dress that Melania wore. She was a flag staff for America while President Trump was president. As important as the first dress, the last dress, the cubes, top to bottom, which came from every page of my book. An orange cube, first edition, came out before the election. And then the last message to America, this is the dress that Melania wore as they arrived at Mar-a-Lago on January 20th, 2021, before Biden was inaugurated, while President Trump was still officially president of the United States. And that message was, election 2020 will equal MAGA to the third power over corn. Zuckerberg is corn. Anybody that was trained to work in the intelligence arena, those people are trained at the farm. And when they're done, we call them a farm product. What's the largest farm product in America? Corn. If they're farm products from other countries, we have other names for them. But here they're corn. Zuckerberg, he's the one that gave all of that stuff for the election integrity stuff to make sure the election went the right way, somebody's right way, back in 2020. That's where all those drop boxes were. That's what 2,000 Mules is all about. It's about MAGA to the third power. And that's the flag that Trump is waving in front of all of them right now, baiting like a matador the bull to charge again. I've given those presentations. People need to think about it. He's waving the MAGA flag. White House, the very first act that President Trump signaled to the world with the assistance of his wife, the First Lady, Melania Trump, was that which was taken from us, we're here to take back.
Amen.
Okay. And then with that in mind, Trump had lots of messages he sent out to us during the 4 years of his presidency. But if you think the first dress was important, wouldn't you think the last dress was at least as important or more important?
Yes.
So as Melania and President Trump exited the White House on January 20th, 2021, they didn't wait for the Biden inauguration. In fact, Trump never conceded the election. He never acknowledged that Biden won. So he wasn't there to be part of anything. They left in the early morning, walked out of the White House over to Marine One, and Melania was wearing a black dress on that dark day. As the ship of state, America, was sailing off into the dark of night, the last message as they left the White House to all the world leaders, everybody out there, to the American people, was a black dress, mourning. No! In the language of flags, if it's an end of message and now I have to get to a new message for different ship or for all the ships, I run a gap or better, a black flag. End of message, begin new message. When President Trump and Melania left the White House, he was still president. When they got on Marine One, he was still commander in chief.
Right.
When they got on Air Force One, he was still president and commander in chief. And they flew down to Palm Beach, got off the plane, and he was still president all the way to Mar-a-Lago, including with the briefcase, with all the codes, not just for nuclear weapons, but weapons beyond. And it traveled with them all the way. As they got off the plane, the last message to America was the message that was all through my book, Kid by the Side of the Road. every page of the book has an orange cube on it. And the message is on page 71 for those of you who have a book. Election 2020 will equal MAGA, Make America Great Again, to the third power cubed over corn. What's the corn? The corn are all those players that when we send guys to learn how to be intelligence operatives, they go to learn how to work undercover all over the world. We send them to the farm. And when they're done learning how to be a spy, an intelligence operative, etc., and work undercover, they're a farm product. What's the biggest farm product in America? Corn. Mm. They're corn. We tease them. We call them corn. Over at the FBI, who wouldn't do an investigation on the fraud in Michigan and complete it. Over in Tennessee, where they got word of fraud in the way the election was being run and didn't do a thing about it. Over at Homeland Security, where CISA knew the frauds that were occurring, including contractors there to stage a protest and invade the Capitol building on January 6th to cover other things that were being done to stop the vote that would have challenged the vote challenge that Cruz and others were demanding. That was a militarized operation to stop the vote count, just like they stopped the vote count on election day overnight. They stopped the vote count in the Capitol on January 6th by the various electors and the challenges that were going to come in the House and Senate to look at those votes, whether or not they were lawfully conducted. That all stopped when this planned riot occurred at Congress and the FBI did nothing. Those corn people who are controlling these locations in government have to be overcome. And so election 2020, the outcome will be proportional, equal to MAGA to the third power over corn. That cube, that orange cube that's on every page of my book, that's referenced all the way through it, is the message that President Trump chose to display to the world when he flew the flag. And it was a dress, dark to light, covered in orange cubes, just like in the book, exactly. Don't give up on 2020. It's not over.